and welcome to this morning's edition of the Biker Angle. I'm James Hollywood Machikari. It is 9/7/2018. Man, the days are just going by quicker and quicker, man. Summer's almost at an end, isn't it, man? Shit. But anyway, tomorrow we're going to have a special article by Dave. He's going to be talking about choppers. And I love the name of his article. It's called Ride Choppers or Fuck Off, and it's going to be talking about Thomas Jerome Fugel, or Tom Fugel, one of the freaking legends in the motorcycle building community, man. Boy, is he a legend. So I'm looking forward to getting that article out for you guys tomorrow, so you go over to HarleyLiberty.com, and you'll be able to see it over there. Also, I appreciate you guys buying the book. It is doing very well, and it's getting to the point where hopefully we'll be able to do Motorcycle Madhouse every day, Monday through Friday. I'm thinking about probably 9 o'clock, right before the Biker Angle would come out, but we're getting there, guys. So thanks a lot for all the support and everything good that you guys are saying about the book. Really appreciate it. Yesterday, I put out the day before, I put out a vid about the Kinfolk and that incident down in Florida. I got a reply from them. I invited them on Motorcycle Madhouse to let them tell their point of view. So far, this is what I got from them. Just so you get more than the police report side of the story, which I would assume you want, which we always do that. Both sides of the story always gets out. From someone that was there, the SUV ran into the pack. It wasn't merging into shit. Two brothers and their old ladies were ran off the road and almost killed by this SUV. There is no doubt he overreacted, but I can only assume he thought it was another club trying to hurt brothers, which is the way they came into the pack, he has in parentheses. As you always get both sides, and since we all know police will fuck up the truth, there you go. That's from Kidfolk Nomad, Mean Gene, 1%er. So, the invitation's out, the Kinfolk Motorcycle Club. I have a bunch of questions that I'd like to ask, and if you want your side of the story to come out, there you go, man. You guys got your invitation. You know, I know what you said here, but there's a lot more questions that I'd like to ask. Now, let's get on to the news of the day. And this is coming from Eagle Nation 99.3. This story's also all over the internet with other news agencies as well. Hamilton, Ohio. Police in Hamilton, Ohio have arrested two local men who are believed to be members of the Iron Horseman motorcycle gang, as they put it. That's not me putting it that way, it's them. Following a fatal crash. An officer stopped several motorcyclists Tuesday evening for traffic violations on Williams Avenue at River Road. According to the department, officers believe the group was part of the Iron Horseman because of the insignia that was displayed. Three of the riders sped off from the traffic stop. One of those fleeing bikers crashed into an embankment. Despite first responders' efforts to save him, the biker died at the scene. The name of the victim has not been released. Police did capture the other two fleeing bikers. One had stopped at the crash. The other tried to get away on foot, but was caught. Anastasio Anthony Camacho, 31 of Versailles, and Kyle Ramney, 27 of Harrison, are each charged with failure to comply and obstruction of official business. Hamilton police said the investigation is ongoing. If we get more information, we will get it out to you. Now, this coming out of Alberta, Canada, for all our people that watch outside of the United States. And this is pretty interesting because they're using aggressive tactics against the Hells Angels up there. And tomorrow on Motorcycle Madhouse, we got a special guest from Australia where we're going to be talking about the Vlad laws. We're going to be talking about the different cultures. You know, we're going to talk why they use Bikey and, you know, why it's different than Biker. You know, it's a really good 45-minute conversation where it was pretty educational for myself because I love learning the difference in the cultures. You know, because outside the United States, the cultures are way different. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is what we know here in the States isn't exactly what happens everywhere else in the world. So, make sure you tune in on Motorcycle Madhouse tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Of course, it's going to be posted here on YouTube, so you just see it here, or hear it here, actually, tomorrow. But let's get into this article and see what they're actually facing in Canada, the 81 is. An orange glow on the horizon burnt off a light July fog as surveillance units with the Alberta Law Enforcement Response Team, or Alert as they call them, monitored the movements of Shane Lace daily early one morning. For close to a year, police had been keeping tabs on the 30-year-old man, a man that alleged is a full-patch member of the Dirty Few Motorcycle Club, a known Hells Angels support club. But on July 25th, police were ready to take action. Daly pulled his dusty charcoal-colored Lincoln Navigator out of the Spruce Grove Tim Hortons tacked onto the Shell gas station just off Highway 16A. It was man, I miss Shell gas stations, man, by the way, living where I'm at. All I got is freaking BP and all that bullshit. But anyway, it was just before 7 a.m. as he turned onto Campsite Road, then left onto the highway. Seemingly out of nowhere, a marked RCMP cruiser pulled into the inside lane, dashing in from the north on Jennifer Hill Way. The white cruiser was not really in pursuit, but the officer blocked Daly from using an approaching off-ramp. Quote, "Not a clue," a covert alert officer tailing Daly said during a lull in the relentless radio chatter when asked if the suspect had any idea what was happening. Quote, "The officer cannot be named because of his role in the investigation." Of course they can't. Seconds later, an unmarked police pickup truck hurtled in behind Daly, its red and blue lights flashing. Daly pulled over immediately. The short-lived pursuit, if it could even be called that, lasted less than 1.5 kilometers. So now it's a pursuit when the guy had no idea what was going on. There wasn't no lights until the truck pulled up behind him, and when the lights went on, he pulled over. See how the media gets? It's not only in the United States that it happens. Wearing a black flak jacket emblazoned with alert and the neat white lettering, a 6'3" hulk of an officer stepped out of the pickup truck, accompanied by another stocky officer wearing a police-issued camouflage coat, a backward baseball cap, and sunglasses. Without a fuss, struggle, or barely a raised voice, Daly was arrested. So he wasn't freaking resisting. Remember that. With a cigarette dangling from his bottom lip, he was handcuffed, put in the back of yet another police vehicle, and driven away. As a beat officer wanted on the edge of the highway for a tow truck to impound Daly's SUV and a marked RCMP cruiser parked in front of a nearby condo complex in Spruce Grove. A glittery gold Harley, a Dirty Few Motorcycle Club sticker on the front windshield, and Hells Angel support stickers on the rear sat nearby. The police... Wait, let's see here. Oh, it's one of them things again. The bike, police allege, was also Daly's. It was too impounded. The seemingly flawless choreographed takedown of Daly was the culmination of Project Entry, a year-long joint investigation by the Alert Outlaw Motorcycle Gang Enforcement Team and the RCMP's Federal Serious and Organized Crime Team into alleged cocaine trafficking network across Alberta, linked to the Hells Angels and its support club Dirty Few. Daly's arrest was the opening salvo from 5 police arrest teams that had unfurled across Spruce Grove under the morning sun that day. Within the next week, 10 people were arrested across the province as part of the complex covert operation involving wiretaps, GPS vehicle tracking, intercepted phone calls, encrypted messages, and dozens of undercover cocaine buys. Police keeping their foot on the gas, it says. Disrupting and dismantling outlaw biker gangs and organized crime in Alberta was one of the founding principles of Alert when it formed in 2006. And operations like Project Entry are part of the sledgehammer that they use against serious crime. It is the approach of Alert Chief Executive Officer Superintendent Chad Coles says is necessary. Quote, "You have to maintain the course and not take the foot off the gas," end quote, he told Post Media in January. To really see results, you just can't make one arrest and say that we are done. When it comes to outlaw biker gangs and organized crime, the most notorious is the Hells Angels. While Project Entry did involve Alberta's largest motorcycle club, well, now they say motorcycle club instead of motorcycle gang. But anyway, police say the operation did not specifically target them. But since it's one of their support clubs, their name's all over the news. That's how it works. The stories of organized crime in Alberta, however, cannot be told without understanding the Hells Angels and how they came to dominate the province. Based on research compiled by independent experts on law enforcement and interviews with police, this is how the biker gang took control. Now all of a sudden they're back to biker gang. As the infamous Quebec Biker War between the Hells Angels and their rivals Rock Machine was leaving a trail of dead bodies. More than 160 people were killed between 1994 and 2002. The most feared biker group in the world was I in the Prairies. By the way, we just got news yesterday that most of the Rock Machine in Germany and in Europe is now gone. Swat Ekras, or whatever, the world chapter president or some shit, was put out on bad standing, and anything associated with him is now done and over. We got that through IOTC last night. 3 dominant clubs, Grim Reapers, Rebels, and the King's Crew, had been fighting a very public and bloody war for supremacy in oil country since the 70s. That reached a crescendo in the late 80s and early 90s. Shootings, beatings, booby-trapped vehicles, clubhouse bombings, stabbings, kidnapping, and missing bodies were chum in the water for an apex predator like the Hells Angels. The chaos provided a perfect path for the group to force themselves in the canola-covered Alberta landscape. In '97, they patched over the Grim Reapers, while the remaining clubs were disbanded. Of the 29 Grim Reaper members, 23 became Hells Angels. A small number of King's Crew and Rebels members were absorbed into the Brotherhood, and the Hells Angels' 13th and 14th Canadian chapters were established in Edmonton and Calgary. At the time, they were the 109th and 110th chapters in the world. Bad blood within the ranks, however, forced a split and led to the 1999 creation of the Nomads chapter in Red Deer. Since Central Alberta alone didn't have the drug market to sustain the club, members were allowed to roam the province, as the name suggests. By 2000, there was about 50 Angels members in Alberta. The gang muzzled public acts of violence, but they never came to a complete stop. Man, this is reading like a fucking police novel, man. Anyway, quote, the Hells Angels are very knowledgeable when it comes to how they orchestrate their organized crime business, so they want to keep it out of the public eye as much as possible, said Calgary Police Service Sergeant Davis Mills, a leading expert in Canadian outlaw motorcycle gangs. Quote, there was still a lot of acts of violence, but they were going unreported. Longtime Hells Angel nemesis and blood rivals, the Banditos, saw an opening in 2002 and tried to muscle in from the east. Their foray into wild Rose Country was chaotic and short-lived. Within a year, a probationary Banditos member was gunned down outside of an Edmonton nightclub, which the case remains unsolved, and the Hells Angel Support Club member who was courting the Banditos disappeared. The Banditos shut down, and majority of the remaining members patched over into the Hells Angel Nomad chapter in Red Deer in October of 2004, tripling their numbers and cementing their spot in the top echelon of organized crime in the province. Absorbing a rival who they fought bloody wars against in the U.S. and Europe was a bold move, and one that didn't sit well with some Hells Angels. A faction saw it as a way for former members who fled the Banditos to return to the fold. Quote, "It's like the Hatfields and McCoys joining forces. It just does not happen," said investigative journalist and author of the book The Hells Angels, Julian Scher. The bad blood and infighting continued. In 2007, the Banditos tried again to push its way into Alberta, but that ended in Calgary bar with a violent assault at the hands of the Hells Angels. In 2009, another split occurred, this time in Calgary, where Nomads and Calgary members formed the Southland chapter. 2 years later, the Westridge chapter formed in Edmonton, boasted by members of the Nomads. Then in June 2016, there was one final split, and Edmonton had its third chapter, Hellside. Quote, "The Hells Angels really want control of the province," end quote, Mills said. With 6 chapters in Alberta, 3 in Edmonton, 2 in Calgary, and 1 in Red Deer, the Hells Angels are the undisputed heavyweights of the prairies. Like I said, it's reading like a police novel, man, this shit. In fact, Alberta has the 3rd highest number of Angel chapters in Canada, behind British Columbia and Ontario. In total, there are 42 chapters scattered from Vancouver to NB. While membership fluctuates, police estimate the number of full patch prospects and Hells Angels hang around in Alberta is about 85. On top of that, anywhere between 170 and 175 members of support clubs. Mills said the province has experienced explosive growth in support clubs and club members, with the Edmonton area at the epicenter. And the growth shows little signs of stalling. The day before Daly's July 25th arrest, at a standing room only meeting of at least a dozen officers in a top floor boardroom of the Integrated Policing Agency headquarters, each alert arrest member received their mark. One by one, each of the subjects that were to be arrested had their photographs projected onto a screen as the lead investigator outlined the plan. Anyway, and here we go with, trying to stoke fires. Police are also aware of new clubs trying to move in. The Mongols, with whom the Hells Angels have fought violently in the past, are trying to establish a chapter in Edmonton. And police have also confirmed that a chapter of the Rebels Motorcycle Club exists in Edmonton, and there are unconfirmed reports that Loners, another gang, has moved in, which brings the total number of outlaw motorcycle groups in the city and surrounding areas to 9. Scher, who has reported on the Hells Angels for years, said Canada, and particularly Alberta, is unique because one of the most powerful outlaw motorcycle gangs in the world has very, if any, competition. See what I mean about this? Jesus Christ. It's a freaking novel, man. Anyway, let's see here. Where are we going to go here? All the stuff that trickles down in society, from drug addiction and property crime, stems from the high-level crimes that Hells Angels are committing. It also says that Canada and Australia are starting to work together. Then they go into some other clubs and shit like that. But the article's up on HarleyLiberty.com. I don't want to keep on giving these guys, airtime, because it does sound like a cop novel to me. A bunch of propaganda bullshit, and they got the media involved in the shit, so why keep on going on? Basically, what it comes down to, at least they're not shy about letting everybody know that they're trying to take down the Angels, and they're trying to take down all their support clubs. But that's what cops do. And that's the reason why there's a line, guys. A line. Bikers on one side, cops on the other. And this kind of propaganda shit, in addition to all the motorcycle profiling that happens, is why cops don't belong in a civilian club. And when I say civilian, what I'm talking about is guys like regular Joe Schmo off the street kind of clubs. Clubs like the Angels, Outlaws, freaking all the support clubs, all three-piece patch clubs. You know, we know, of course, that they find their way into the bigger clubs through CIs and rats and shit like that. But I'm talking actual through the prospecting and hang-around periods and shit like that. You got clubs like Iron Legacy doing it. It's been rumored that Kinfolk does it, and they're running around with a 1%er patch. And that's one question I like to ask the Kinfolk is, you're wearing a 1%er diamond, but the rumor is you got cops and all that kind of bullshit in your club, knowingly having cops that work as police officers in your club. So, how hypocritical is that shit if you guys are doing that shit? So, that's one question I like to get asked, and, you know, not the run around where we don't care about anybody's freaking job bullshit. You know, it is what it is. Cops stay on one side, we stay on our other. And if you guys can't understand that, I don't know what to freaking tell you if that's what happened, man. Because you'll never get any self-respect out of anybody, if you're taking cops into your motorcycle club, plus wearing a 1%er diamond. So, that's the edition today of the Biker Angle. Again, don't forget to listen in on Motorcycle Madhouse tomorrow at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time. That's Chicago time. We're going to have our special guest from Australia. And don't forget to get your copy of the book, The New Age of Biking Brotherhood, which is the first book in a series of 3. But with that, you guys all be good. And make sure, well, don't be too freaking good. It's Friday night. Go out there and party a little bit, man. Go get you some putty. But anyway, you guys be safe, and hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll see you guys tomorrow.